This is not just music. This is fuel for every rep, every set, every sacrifice. God didn't build you to be weak. He built you with iron in your bones and fire in your chest. Let's go!
Iron faith,
iron will. Every mountain I can climb, every valley I can feel. God is my strength. When my body wants to quit, I was built for this.
I refuse to submit. Iron faith,
Iron will. Every rep is a prayer, every drop of sweat and steals. That the God who made the heavens lives inside of me,
I got iron faith.
and nothing can stop what he decreed. Wake up as the darkness is still here, but the word of God cuts through it crystal clear. They say the body's weak, but the spirit's on fire. I ain't chasing clout, I'm chasing something higher. And every plate I load is an act of devotion. Every mile I run is fueled by his ocean of grace, of mercy, of strength undefeated. I kneel before I live, my prayers completed. Some train for glory, I train for his name. Before the sun rises, I already came to the altar of discipline. Faith is my gym. When the world says stop, I look up to him.
Iron will,
Every mountain I can climb, every valley I can feel. God is my strength.
when my body wants to quit,
I was built for this.
I refuse to submit. Iron faith, iron will,
Every rep is a prayer, every drop of sweat and steals. That the God who made the heavens lives inside of me,
I got iron faith.
and nothing can stop what he decreed. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things, not by my power but by the King of Kings. When my lungs are burning and my lips give way, I hear his voice say, this is not your last day. Push one more rep, take one more breath. My faith is stronger than fatigue and death. I got ancestors who suffer chains and still praise. I got a God who turned their mourning into blazing rays. So what's my excuse when the weight gets heavy? I was made for this moment, born ready. Every scar is a story, every fail a lesson. God's building the worry through this blessed aggression.
He gives power to the faint,
And to them with no might,
he increases strength.
they that wait upon the Lord shall renew. They shall mount up with wings.
This is for you.
Hey!
Run and not be weary.
Walking.
Walking not faint.
Hey!
This is the promise.
Hey!
This is the saints.
Hey! Inheritance.
Rise up.
Don't you dare quit. God wrote your victory.
Every single man. Iron faith.
Hey!
Iron will.
Every mountain I can climb, every valley I can feel.
God is my strength when my body wants to quit.
I was built for this.
I refuse to submit.
Iron faith.
Iron will.
Every rep is a prayer, every drop of sweat and steals. That the God who made the heavens lives inside of me,
I got iron faith.
and nothing can stop what he decreed. They said rest is for the weak, but David didn't rest when Goliath spoke. Paul didn't rest in prison, and Jesus didn't rest on the cross. So don't you dare tell me you're tired. Get up! No days off!
No days off.
No days off. When the devil never sleeps, I can't afford to stop.
No days off.
No days off. God gave me breath this morning, so I'm giving all I got.
No days off.
No
days off.
Every drop of sweat is worship, every rep a battle cry.
No days off.
No, I was made to push through, built to never quit, born to rise. 5 a.m. the alarm rings, the enemy whispers stay, but I got a God who conquered death and rolled a stone away. If he could carry a cross up Calvary's hill, the least that I can do is conquer how I feel. Lace up, step out, the cold hits my face. I don't run for trophies, I run for his grace. Every stride is a statement, every mile a declaration that my body is a temple and I serve a holy nation. They sleeping, I grind, not because I'm better, but because the calling on my life demands I go further. Discipline is love, love for the God who bled. I wake up and work out because he woke me from the dead.
No days off.
No days off. When the devil never sleeps, I can't afford to stop.
No days off.
No days off. God gave me breath this morning, so I'm giving all I got. No days off. No days off. Every drop of sweat is worship. Every rep a battle cry. No days off. No days I was made to push through, built to never quit, born to rise. See men quit when the season got hard. Threw in the towel, walked away from God, but I ring away, found me broken on the floor, so I can't tap out when my muscles get sore. This body went through war and it still kept me standing. Through the losses, through the nights I didn't understand it. Every scar is a testimony, every fail is set up for a comeback so magnificent the crowd ain't ready yet. Push one more rep, that's one more prayer answered. One more step forward, one more chain shattered. The enemy counts on me stopping today, so I push past the pain just to ruin this blade. Therefore I discipline my body and keep it under control. Lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified.
This ain't vanity, this is stewardship of the soul.
I honor God with muscle, with bone, with every stride. Run the race that's set before you. Fix your eyes on Jesus, let nothing floor you. Endurance builds character, character builds hope, and hope don't disappoint. Grab the rope, pull yourself up. The finish line is real. Heaven's watching every rep, every grind, every hill. No days off. No days off. When the devil never sleeps, I can't afford to stop.
No days off.
No days off. God gave me breath this morning, so I'm giving all I got.
No days off.
No days off. Every drop of sweat is worship, every rep a battle cry.
No days off. No days
I was made to push through, built to never quit, born to rise. You made it through another set, another mile, another day. The enemy tried to take from you, but you're still here, still standing, still fighting.
God sees every rep you did in the dark.
When nobody was watching, when nobody clapped, he saw it, and he's not done with you yet.
No days off.
Let's go. Let's go. Before the foundation of the world, he knew your name. Before your first breath, he had already counted your days. You were not an accident. You were not a mistake. You were not put together by chance. You were built by God. And what God builds, nothing can destroy. I used to look in the mirror and see nothing worth keeping. A broken man bleeding, lost and barely breathing. Chasing validation in the faces of strangers, trading my purpose for temporary pleasures and dangers. But somewhere in the silence, when the noise finally died, I heard a voice so gentle it shook me from the inside. It said, I made your hands, I shaped your mind, I wrote your story long before the first page of time. Every flaw you're ashamed of, I already knew. Every scar you're hiding, I put purpose in those too. You didn't stumble in the light by accident or fate. I measured every detail, I was patient, I could wait. So stop apologizing for the way that you were made. I don't make mistakes, I make people to be brave. Stand up, look up, you were crafted with intention. Built by God, fearfully made beyond your comprehension.
Built by God,
not by the world's design. Every crack in me is where His glory shines. With purpose in my bones, I was never lost, I was always coming home. From the dust He breathed me in, a living testimony where He ends and I begin. And what He starts He will complete. I was built by God and I will never accept defeat. They told me I was too much, too loud, too broken, too raw, too street for the church, too safe for the streets. I saw myself in no man's land, not fitting any mold. But God don't mass produce, He handcrafts every soul. Look at David, a shepherd boy nobody selected. Looked at Moses, a stuttering fugitive rejected. Looked at Paul, a murderer turned apostle of grace. Tell me who gets to say God can't use your face? Your background is not a barrier, it's your testimony. Your worst chapter is exactly what God said, come follow me. I've been knocked down in the very place I was called to stand, but I got up every time because I felt His hand. Not because I'm special, not because I'm strong alone, but because the God who made me doesn't leave His own. He finishes what He starts, that's not religion, that's a fact. Built by God means He ain't never taking that back. Not by the world's design. Every crack in me is where His glory we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. I am not the sum of my failures, I am not the weight of my past, I am not the names they call me, or the shadows that were cast. I am clay in the hands of the potter, and the potter knows his art. He is patient with the breaking because he's rebuilding from the heart. Yeah, so let him work, even when it hurts, even when the furnace burns, let him work. The fire is a punishment, it's purification. He's burning off everything that was never really you. Let him work. I walk different now, not because life got easy. I walk different because I finally believe he sees me as worthy. Not based on what I've done, but based on the blood and the victory of his son. Every morning I wake up is a grace I don't deserve. Every breath in my lungs is a gift I didn't earn. So I train with intention, I live with intention. Every move I make is an act of holy tension between who I was and who he's calling me to be. And I choose every single day to let his vision lead. You can have the trophies, you can have the fame, I just wanna hear him say, you honored my name. Built with love, designed with detail, put together by hands that never ever fail. So I run this race with everything I've got, built by God, and that means I will not stop. Psalm 139. You form my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my soul knows it very well. You were built by God. Walk like it, train like it, live like it. You made it this far. Every rep, every mile, every moment you wanted to quit, and you didn't. But this is not the time to slow down. This is not the time to coast. The finish line doesn't come to you, you go to it. With everything left in your tank, every last drop, give it to God and finish strong. Yeah. Yeah, you finish strong. Yeah, 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 yeah. Last mile, last set, last breath in the tank. I don't slow down at the end, I give God the thanks by pushing even harder when my body screams stop. Because champions aren't made at the start, they're made at the top of the hill when it's deepest, when the lungs are on fire, when the easy road's calling but you call to go higher. I watch men quit with the finish line in sight, gave up in the 9th round, surrendered the fight. But I think about Jesus in the garden that night, sweating blood, crying tears, still choosing what's right. He didn't tap out when the soldiers came near, he finished what he started, so what's my excuse here? Last lap, don't calculate, accelerate. The God who brought you this far won't let you break. Lock in, dig deep, the crowd is not what drives me. I finish strong because the King of Kings is beside me.
Finish strong, finish strong.
I've come too far to stop now, I've been running all along.
Finish strong, finish strong.
Heaven's cheering in the stands, this is where I belong.
Finish strong, finish strong.
Every ounce of what remains, I lay it at his throne.
Finish strong, finish strong.
I was born to break the tape, I will not die alone on this road. Finish strong. I remember when I started, didn't think I'd make it here. Every voice around me said give up, disappear. The weight was too heavy, the road was too long. The odds were stacked against me and everything felt wrong. But somewhere in the darkness when I had nothing left, I felt a hand beneath me with every labored breath. You said I didn't bring you through the fire to watch you burn. I didn't write your story just to leave it mid-turn. So I got back up on legs that had no right to stand, move forward on a faith I couldn't fully understand. And mile by mile, day by day, rep by rep, I found out God faithful with every single step. Now I'm here at the end, and it hits different now. The struggle was the sermon, the grind was the vow that I made to a God who never once left my side. And I will finish this race with everything I die.
Finish strong.
Hey!
Finish strong.
I've come too far to stop now. I've been running all along.
Finish strong.
Woo!
Finish strong.
Heaven's cheering in the stands. This is where I belong.
Finish strong.
Woo!
Finish strong.
Every ounce of what remains, I lay it at His throne.
Finish strong.
Woo!
Finish strong.
I was born to break the tape. I will not die alone on this road. Finish strong. Hebrews 12:1 says, therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Then watching from the stands right now, every saint who ran before you, Abraham ran this road, Abraham ran this road, Joseph ran this road, Ruth ran this road, Paul ran this road in chains, and they're all leaning over the railing, screaming your name. Don't you dare stop now.
Don't you dare quit now.
You are one step away
Don't you dare quit now.
from everything God promised. Woo! One more step. Yeah. This is it, the last push, the last prayer. I can feel the finish line cutting through the air. Every sacrifice I made was for this moment right here. Every early morning, every night I fought through fear. I think about the people who were counting on me, my family, my purpose, the man I'm called to be. I don't finish for the cloud or for the numbers on the screen. I finish because God deserves the very best of me. So I empty every chamber, leave it all on the floor. Not one drop of effort, save for anything more. This is holy, this is worship, this is war. I was built for this moment, this is what I trained for. Take broken arms, raised face toward the sky. I look up at my Father with tears I can't hide. Not because it's over, but because He was right. He said finish strong, and I finished the fight. 2 Timothy 4:7. I have fought the good fight.
I have fought the good fight.
I have finished the race.
I have kept the faith.
I have kept the faith. That's the goal. Not the PR, not the podium, not the applause. Just to stand before God one day and say, I gave you everything.
Every breath.
Every rep, every mile, every moment, I held nothing back. Gospel streets, gospel grind.